Hey guys, good morning. Here we are again for another morning of healing. All right. Today we're going to jump right into it. And oops, there we go. Oh, wow. The sky looks nice from that angle. Okay. All right, there we go. Oops, hold up. Oh no, that doesn't seem to be working. Like this. Good morning. Hey, greetings. Oops, okay, let me make sure I'm good there. I think my screen is not as clean as it could be today, but I don't know where my little thingy is, so I just have to rock with it as it is. Hey, good morning. What'd you forget? Okay. Good morning, welcome. For everybody who's been joining us this whole time, definitely make sure, I hope you guys have been drinking a lot of water. If not, definitely, like when the body goes through any kind of like energetic transformation, physical transformation, anything, there's a lot of energy that's used, and a lot of messages need to be sent all around the body about what's happening, like what changes are being made in the body and stuff like that. And so you have neurons firing constantly, and electricity needs water to fire properly. So you do your body a favor every time you're going through any type of shift, switch, change, anything like that. You want to always make sure that you're drinking more water than usual during those times. So just putting out that PSA for everybody. Okay, I'm going to jump right in this morning. I think when everybody's lying down, we'll talk about some things then. So let's go ahead and tune into the heart space first. If this is your first time coming, welcome. Today we are on day 15, I think. I'm not good at calendars, so I'll have to double check that, but I think we're on day 15. We're more than halfway through this moon cycle of healing. So just, if you've been tuning in the whole time, just think about where you've been, what's happened for you since you started this process. I know for me, I was getting to the first couple of days, I was tearing up and I had some things come up. And by the fourth day, I think it was, I was just like giggling and laughing uncontrollably. And so that was the energy that probably needed to come out too. There's because there's definitely balance, in ancient medicine, it was never considered a good thing to be excessively happy, excessively joyful, because you're supposed to be able to experience the range of emotions. Like we came to Earth to experience the whole range of emotions, not just to feel good. We didn't just come to have sweet. If you have only sweet flavor, your body eventually becomes imbalanced and you get sick. You're supposed to have bitter, supposed to have salty, supposed to have pungent, spicy, all the flavors are a welcome part of the human experience. They're not welcome to our ego necessarily all the time, but all of the flavors, of the tastes of life, they have a purpose. They all have a meaning. They all have something that helps us grow and helps us just to understand life and existence a little better. So, try and just embrace the experiences as much as possible and not allow them to sink into your heart and weigh your heart down. But just tune in now and kind of feel where you're at, in anything that was weighing you down. Has it released for you? Is each morning like a brand new release? Does it feel more like a process of shedding for you, where like layers are coming up, or maybe the layers are like being shed and falling away? Or was it like a big transformation for you where suddenly you kind of found yourself shifted into like a different reality than you were expecting? For me, when I do transformations, they kind of happen in leaps, and so something will shift in a huge way and then settle into where it is for a moment and then make a huge leap again, rather than like shedding as much. My process used to be shedding, and then once I hit this certain stage of where I am, this process started to be like these like leaps, jumps, and that's all part of the whole serpent power awakening experience. That's why Wajet, created this, this transformative energy, like put this together, is for, that's the fire, the serpent fire, the purification, and then as you purify, you shed things that were you and that no longer serve you, and it's just a constant, never-ending process. So, but yes, anyhow, back to us. Let's tune in. Take a deep breath and draw the breath up from the heart space, starting from the heart, and draw it up, out through the crown, and up into the air. And then exhale through the mouth. Drop that breath back down through the spine, all the way down, down, down. Out through the root, through the tailbone, and down into the earth. Drop it down into the floor. Exhale. And then inhale up through the center, through the front of your body. Up through the root, through the sacral, through the belly, and into the heart, and hold the breath there. And then exhale and press that breath up, out through the crown. And continue to exhale, but pushing the breath up. And then inhale, breath back down, again through the crown, down through the whole spine, out through the root, and inhaling all the way down into the earth. And then exhale the breath through the mouth, up. Bring the breath up. Hold your energy into your heart space. And take a deep breath in and just hold it there. And again, exhale through the mouth. And let's go ahead and bring the elbow up, and we're gonna hit our sound frequency for today. And because we're working on heart healing doesn't mean that you need to always play heart frequencies, like when you're choosing a frequency to listen to. The heart going through its stages, processing different things, connects to different parts of us at different times. So, you may be sad because there's a communication issue going on with someone, or you've had trouble expressing your boundaries. So if you have trouble expressing your boundaries, you may want to put on a root chakra frequency so that you can get centered and grounded in your own being, so that you can find where your boundaries are, and then allow that to translate. Allow your heart to translate what that message is for you, so that you understand, so that you have a direct awareness of what feels good. So as we detox the heart will be more engaged in the process of the things you do. But the things you do don't always start with the heart. So, and again, so if you're having communication issues and just a communication breakdown where people aren't understanding you, or vice versa, or you're not able to understand them, play a communication frequency, play a throat chakra frequency, and then do the heart medicine. And it's using those together. So use frequencies so that they can support what it is that you're doing as you detox your heart. So go ahead, the right hand goes against the right side of the body here, palm facing forward. Left hand, palms facing this, coming in here to the heart, just about 4 to 6 inches in front of the heart, and then another 4 to 6 inches out, and then another, and then inhale back. So the chant is Tum Ta Ru, and then you inhale back again, Tum Ta Ru. Inhale back and make sure the spine is nice and straight. Make sure the throat is open so that you have a clean line, so that all the energy that no longer serves you can be pulled out and released from here. So you don't have any folds. You fold over or stay hunched over, then there's still energy folded up inside of those spaces in you. So just sit up nice and tall. And just close your eyes and tune into your heart while you do this, and just focus on your heart and giving your heart a fresh start, a renewal, a process of renewal, so that you can start over again as who it is that you want to be next, and not necessarily continuing to live as like who you were based on the different traumas, the different experiences that you've had that have shaped your perspective and shaped your ideas and your opinions. You can start over as somebody else every single day. So go ahead, deep breath in. Tum Ta Ru. 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 1, 2, ta, ru. Deep breath in and back. Inhale deep and just fill your heart space with your breath. And make a circle of white light around your heart with your breath. And then bring your right hand over your heart and your left hand on top. And exhale. And just pause for a moment and set your intention for your heart today. Set the intention of who you want to show up as today. Who do you want to express yourself into the world as? How do you need to be seen? Is there some way that you need to stand up for yourself that you haven't been doing? Is there some way you need to express yourself that you've been holding back? Then just fill yourself with the courage and the confidence to move forward and express yourself authentically from your heart. You don't come alive with other people's opinions, and other people's opinions aren't going to be the death of you either. But when you let your heart down every day by not being your real self, that becomes a walking death. You don't want to live that way. We came here to be the fullest expressions of ourselves. So even if it takes small steps each day, open yourself fully to that and allow yourself to be who you came to earth to be. Just exhale now and bring the arms up to a wide position. Fingers are curled under, thumbs are pointing upward. We're going to do the fire breath for a minute. Pumping from the navel, sharp pumps here so the diaphragm is pushing the air out, and small breaths through the nose. Keep the eyes closed and focus on the heart. Go ahead and begin fire breath. And as you breathe in, bring the thumbs up. Just pop the hands open, fingers spread wide apart, and exhale through the mouth. Exhale all the way down. Put your open palms flat on the floor. Just exhale all the old stuck energy, any space inside your heart that is still hanging on to things from the past, things that don't serve who you want to be today. Exhale all of that out, down through the shoulders, through the arms, down through the arms, down through the wrists, out through the palms, and into the floor, down to the earth, to be received and transformed, transmuted into something else. Just a little bit, shed just a little piece more of your armor today. You are already being protected by the universe, by the source, by the all. You don't need to do it too. Shed just a little more. yourself with love and gratitude. Everything that you have accomplished so far. For everything that you are continue to strive to become and to be each moment and each choice and each day. Just hold yourself in a space of love and acceptance for who you are and for what you've done so far. Exhale and just go ahead and lie down. If you have a moment, just make sure that you lie down. Try, and if you're going to do the yoga, of course not if you're at work already or not if you are in a car, but if you are in any space able to just lie down, even if it's just for a moment. Just lie down and relax your face, relax your throat, relax the back of your head. Exhale and release your shoulders, release your arms, and just lie down flat on the floor with your palms apart, facing up, legs a little bit open. Just relax your body in this open way and just allow your breath to just exhale and release everything from you, and give your body a space just for a moment so that the frequency that you've just aligned by doing this heart meditation has a chance to relax itself into all the parts of your body. Let your neurons fire and bring the messages of all this new vibrational frequency. Allow it the space. Even when we're resting, we're never resting. When we give the greater being a rest, we give all of the smaller processes inside of us a chance to take over and do the work that they came to do naturally. So resting is part of being natural. It's part of allowing nature to take over. When we're constantly on the go, when we're constantly working, constantly thinking, especially small business owners, oh my goodness, all day long, all night long, sometimes even in our sleep, we are constantly thinking and planning and working things out and figuring things out step by step by step. And it can be so exhausting and so draining to have your neurons constantly firing. It is such when we talk about going through burnout is a real thing. Like, burnout is your neurons have been firing and firing and firing and firing, and they are just like the electricity is just completely worn out. So when you start to feel a sensation of burnout, just know that that's not something just made up. It's not just a word. It's not a trending now word. It's not all in your mind. It's a physical process that's actually taking place inside of you. Your body is becoming exhausted, and it's really important to support your body by allowing yourself the stillness, allowing yourself stillness. Let your energy, let the energy that functions inside of you, let the wisdom, the divine wisdom that runs all of this, let it take over for a moment. Let it take over and do its job. I am constantly running and running and running, and for me, stillness has always been the hardest lesson in life. When I was growing up, when I was in school, I was an athlete. I ran track. I used to coach soccer. I played tennis. I was a very good tennis player, and so I was always. Our family was very into sports, and we were always moving and doing things. And not only were we into sports, but we were constantly encouraged to, excel in school, get straight A's, and do the most, and constantly study and research. My habit started back then. Research, study, learn, know, continue growing all the time. And stillness was not something that was valued in my family. We had a performance-based love, and I don't say that from a place of anger or feeling sorry for anybody involved. My parents did the very best that they could from their level of growth and learning and their level of heart connection, and so that was part of the lesson that was passed on. To be loved fully, you have to excel. You have to constantly exceed expectations and do the most and be the best. You can't come home with a B. You come home with a B on your report card, that's either, you're getting grounded, there's no TV, there's some kind of punishment for being second best. You have to be your best at all times. And I grew up with that, and already as a naturally kind of like energetic and moving person, and a natural people pleaser. Any other Sagittarians out there may totally understand me, because that's two qualities that we just seem to have been born with: people pleasing and rushing and doing things all the time. And so it's my nature already to be like that. And so coming into a family where love was performance based, and you're constantly pushing to show that you deserve love, so you're constantly trying to be the best and do the most, and rest and stillness were not valued in that kind of circumstance. Rest and stillness do not have value. So I never learned to appreciate what they were. And I also, not only did I not learn to appreciate them or understand that actually you are more efficient when you are rested, when you allow stillness, when you are more balanced as a human, when you have periods of growth and movement and learning and work and challenges, and you have periods of silence and stillness and joy and ease, and when your life isn't in balance in that way, there's a lack of balance inside. So rest is extremely necessary. So when I finally did learn to rest, and of course, most things we learn mentally first. I learned to rest, but it was from here, and so I understood scientifically all the reasons why I should be resting, and I attempted to rest, but I was still coming from a place of guilt and shame. I didn't feel like I deserved to rest because I was not raised to think that was something that you just deserve. Resting is a luxury, for the privilege of people who have already, excelled so much that their name speaks for themselves. Then you get to rest. And I became very out of balance with that. And it's only in these past few years that I actually really kind of got it. And it took going through illness, I've been through some severe illnesses over the past 5 years, in and out of illnesses each year, like almost each year it was a severe illness, to the point of having to have surgery and things. So it was really built on that inability to connect with the feminine, nurturing, relaxed, still, the yin. When I say feminine, I mean yin. I don't mean resting is girl stuff. I mean in yin and yang, feminine energy is receptive, still, cool, silent, dark, and those are the yin things. Yin is feminine, yang is masculine, hot, light, those kind of things, fiery, those types of things. And we require both. We require both elements in order to be whole and balanced in our health, in our body, in our mental health, and in the way we approach the world. Our heart health requires that we have the balance of being able to be still, being able to be comfortable. Not being able to be still at a deeper core thing is saying that you, as you are, is not good enough. Because if you're still and you're not doing and performing and acting and showing and expressing, then it's like you're not showing the world. If you're not doing something for the world, then you have no value. So stillness has no value. So it's very easy, just in case you had, that type of upbringing, that performance-based upbringing, and you've become, what the sort of in the West they call like that type A personality, where you have to be in control of everything, so be the planner of everything, and get it done, and it doesn't feel good, and you won't even put it out if it's not perfect. We are the most people who need to learn how to rest. So very, especially if you do tune in with this yoga more than once, with this Vajra yoga meditation, while you're here, when you tune in, try, if possible, to leave yourself enough space in the morning to lie down in stillness, because once you complete the movements of the yoga, once those are done and you allow yourself stillness, you are training your body and your mind and your spirit that stillness is a part of the whole thing. So just because we speak and we have a mental exchange there, we do the meditation, is that there's an energetic shift, and then lying down is the stillness that allows this natural being, this divine, intelligent being to just take over and to process everything in its own way, in its own time, without us having to be mentally doing something and forcing the situation from up here. So as the more we do that, the more we allow ourselves that stillness, the more the message becomes downloaded that it is okay, it is safe to rest, it is okay. It took me years and years and years to feel safe resting. I didn't feel loved when I was holding still. I didn't feel appreciated when I was holding still. And but it becomes like you're treading water in the middle of the ocean. Like, if you pause, you're gonna sink. And it's not sustainable to constantly live like that. It's not sustainable for the heart and then the other organs too, because the thyroid and the kidneys are two main energy centers. And if any of you out there have any kind of thyroid issues or any type of kidney issues, that's the place of that treading water, that sensation of constantly having to tread water and keep yourself above water. That can happen when you feel like you're constantly having to give and you're never quite giving enough. If you're always just managing to get the bills paid, or just getting just enough done at work, or just you feel like you're just scraping through motherhood or fatherhood, like that sensation of paddling water and just trying to keep your nose above water is exhausting to the adrenals and exhausting to the thyroid. And if you have issues in either of those areas, chronic fatigue, any kind of kidney problems, if you have low thyroid, if you have hyperthyroid, those things at the energetic level from the heart space, that comes from a fear of holding still, a feeling that you need to rush and keep up, and the things you need to do are not good enough and they need to be just that little bit better. That energy in your heart space, that guilt or feeling of not being enough, will translate into other organs in your body. This is why we do heart detox and why we start with the heart. We're going to go on after this 28-day cycle has completed and we finished with the heart. We're going to move on and we're going to start doing other organ healing, because all our organs suffer damage from the things that we constantly feel, the programming that's in our heart space about how we feel about ourselves. It affects our behavior, and that affects all of our other organs. So we process, if we can't speak up for ourselves because, we haven't set our boundaries inside, we can't speak up, then we develop resentment for people, then resentment is stored in the liver. Our liver becomes troubled. We may self-soothe by using drugs or alcohol and trying to make a cycle of like having our liver be silent when really our liver is angry and it wants to detox, it wants to release those energies. So the stuff that starts in our heart space eventually, after long enough, starts to cycle through the body and become the messages that the body picks up and responds to. So it's incredibly important to go through this healing and to allow stillness so that the body can reset itself into something different after you have detoxed and after you've gone through that process. Allow yourself that space. Give yourself enough love. If you give yourself no other type of love today, give yourself some time love. Every self-care doesn't have to involve a face mask or a bubble bath. Self-care sometimes is just giving yourself just enough time. Give yourself 15 minutes of silence where nobody is allowed to talk to you. Not the children, not the boss, not your partner, not anyone. No friends call. Just give yourself time and be with yourself. And give yourself stillness first. Give yourself stillness. A lot of times people I can't meditate. I don't know what's happening now. What am I doing? And this is the energy of having the neurons fire off so constantly that when you go to stillness, you don't even know what to do with yourself. If that is the case, then that you're the person who needs it the most. If stillness comes, easily and you can relax when it's time, that's wonderful. Then continue to detox and give yourself that space. But if you have trouble, then it's an intentional act to give yourself some time to just be by yourself, with yourself in stillness. Make that intention for yourself, because that's going to ripple out into all the other areas of your life. Giving yourself, you don't have to meditate. If meditating doesn't feel good and you think you're supposed to expect something from it and some crazy transformation is supposed to happen behind your closed eyes and it doesn't feel right, then just sit down. Just sit down and don't do anything. Just sit down. That's it. Give yourself stillness. That will still do something for you. And eventually, when your body becomes rested enough to experience the sensation of not having to have neurons firing off all the time, you will actually find that you're actually able to start to go into meditation. Because the problem isn't coming from your mind, from this etheric thing, thingless thing. Your mind is located in your body. So if your body is constantly firing off and it doesn't know how to stop, then just allow it. Take care of this first, because this has enough divine intelligence to feed you back once you take care of it. Just take care of it just by sitting still. So offer yourself that. Try and give yourself that for a week. Set a new habit. See if you can take aside 15 minutes each day to not meditate, because sometimes even for people, for meditating is still doing something. So just don't do anything. Get rid of your phone, turn it off, make sure nobody comes to disturb you, nobody comes to talk to you, and just sit still. Just sit down and just feel what happens. Take note of the things that are going on in your body. Do you get fidgety and itchy? Do you start moving a lot? Do you start doing stuff? Are you thinking about things? Do you start rocking? Do you do that nervous tick thing? Are you doing something? Just notice what your body, because your body is expressing what it is, what kind of state it's in. When your body is, when we do this, when you sit next to somebody, and it's funny because I know how the body functions. I know how with the body, I speak the body's language, and when I see certain people do certain things, I can read what's happening inside of them. So when I see this, it's like that thing going on is it's such a loud sign of a person's nerves not being able to take whatever they're experiencing in that moment. So if you're like that fidgety type of person, just know that subconsciously you're sending the message, because all our minds are already programmed to pick up and read body signals from other people. It may not go into our conscious awareness, but it goes into our subconscious awareness, and how we see them and how we read their energy. It's partly based on us reading their body's signals. Those body signals are like cross-cultural. They're crossed through different times in history. They're like a universal thing that comes from a more primitive section of our brain. And so when your nerves aren't used to stillness, a lot of times we can be doing all these giving off these subconscious body signals, and learning to just sit still and learning to just be still helps us get back in control, so that we stop allowing these, firing neurons to mess up the business meeting for us, because we're going like this. It allows us to become aware of the vessel, and the more aware of the vessel we become, the more we also heal the heart space. When we are tuned in to what our body's needs are, that's healing for the heart. So accept, hold this thing in a space of acceptance. Just give it some stillness and some love, and it will do good things for you in return. So thank you all. Super grateful to see you guys another morning. Thank you for being here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Lots of love.